Higgins Show. Yeah, we're so excited because we've got a very special guest today. Today we have Carter Higgins. Say hello, Carter.
Hello, Carter.
Yeah, all right. All right, so Carter, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you a couple questions. First of all, where are you from?
Well, that's actually a hard question.
Oh.
I'm from a lot of places. Right now I live in Las Vegas. Have you heard of Las Vegas?
I have.
You been there?
Viva and all that.
Viva and all that, yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice spot.
But we also want to talk about you as an artist. So I'd like to first of all talk about, like, how did you get started with art?
How does anyone get started with art?
I don't know, Fernie, how does anyone get started with art? Oh, there you go.
Fernie's right. I have always loved books. I was a library kid. I wrote stories. I drew pictures. And I grew up and I became a librarian, like a lot of our friends.
Yeah.
And it didn't occur to me that somebody had to write those books and make the pictures for those books until a lot later. So I've been doing it for a very long time, but that's kind of how.
Now, Carter, you also do motion graphics and design, is that right?
That's right.
Now,
yeah.
Can you talk to us about, like, so, I guess the connection between writing and storytelling is a little more obvious. How do you do storytelling with motion graphics and design?
Yeah, that's a great question. So motion graphics is like kind of just a big word for pictures that move, right? Like you've seen movies that are animated. It's the same kind of thing that motion graphics is, except sometimes it's text, like words or shapes, not always like a photoreal, like explosion or something cool. But you are still trying to tell a story and have whoever's looking at what you made be able to understand what's happening. Maybe it's words they have to read, or like a lot of, you see this in commercials, right? Like if they want to show you this like new cool toothbrush, they're going to do something flashy so you pay attention to the new cool toothbrush. So a lot of motion graphics is telling stories and making sure that you design it in such a way that whoever's watching can understand. I love Eric Carle, like many of our friends. Lois Ehlert, her collages are fantastic to me. And I think that, like for me, I like to not have a lot of clutter. Mm-hmm. This is true in my like house too. There's like not a lot of stuff because like my brain gets kind of loud when there's a lot of stuff. So if I have color on my artwork all the way to the edge of the page, one, it makes my like brain sort of race.
Oh yeah.
And two, my eyes don't really know where to look. So some of that is from motion graphics. So I'm making sure that there's a very clear direction for your cute little eyes to follow on the page.
So let's talk about the books you brought today.
Sure. You want to hear about them?
Oh yeah, please. I mean.
Well, motion graphics is actually an interesting connection because when I made Circle Under Berry and Some of These Are Snails, I tried to think of each time you turn the page that you were pressing pause on a video. Oh. So that's the moment where the screen stops and you're looking at one thing. Cool. That was sort of how I approached these books. But Circle Under Berry and Some of These Are Snails are similar. They're kind of like cousins.
Okay.
Like me and you.
Yeah.
And they have shapes and things and color and really tricky things like positional words and sorting and classification and all of those words that like all they mean is play with some stuff and figure out what you see. So in Some of These Are Snails, the book is asking you to find what's a circle, what's big, which is a worm, which has stripes, who has more stripes. There's a lot of ways to play with the book. So it's not really a story with a beginning, middle, and end, but there's a lot to do in the book.
Well, I feel like the story is how you interact with the book.
Yeah.
That's like, who's the author? Herb Toulet?
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. I love that.
Yeah, so, definitely something to play with. And the cool thing is with books, I made them, and my friends at Chronicle helped me turn them into a book, but they're really not my books anymore. They belong to whoever's reading them.
Oh, I love that. That is one of my favorite things about art. It's like, this idea that it's almost like a child, you create this thing and then you put it out in the world when it's ready, when it's reached adulthood. And then it's not, it's not really yours anymore. It's its own thing, and it's everybody that interacts with it.
It's kind of scary to do that too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's scary. But I mean, that's what you're hoping for when you're writing, when you're raising this book.
Right.
That you've created something that could stand on its own in the world.
That's right.
What's your favorite shape?
My favorite shape, I like a circle. I put a lot of them on the cover.
You didn't even have to think about it.
I like a circle. It's the shape of your head and your eyes. I like circles because they are like kind of endless.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of a trick question. And maybe if you asked me tomorrow, I would have said triangles.
Well, you know what? It's like, what's your favorite movie? It changes every day.
Right.
I get it.
Right. I do like a circle.
Hold on. Fernie, what's your favorite shape?
Mama.
No,
Mama.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thanks, Van. Thanks, Fernie.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Van Show.